Well, we've all come back after a long Diwali weekend, and what a weekend it was. And no, I'm just not talking about the festivities of Diwali, but the Diwali Milan that was organized at the BJP's headquarters, where Prime Minister Narendra Modi met for the first time journalists in Delhi.
5 months after storming into office, Prime Minister Narendra Modi finally interacted with the press on Saturday. In keeping with the festive season, there were sweets all around, and Prime Minister Modi, in his first direct interaction, thanked the media for their coverage of the Swachchh Bharat Abhiyan and asked them to keep spreading the light.
मैं पिछले करीब 1 महीने से लगातार स्वच्छता पर इतने आर्टिकल पढ़ रहा हूं, इलेक्ट्रॉनिक मीडिया में भी, सोशल मीडिया में इसकी इतनी व्यापक चर्चा हो रही है.
It is no secret that Modi's relation with the media can at best be termed delicate. His government has been criticized for not facing tough questions. It has been 5 months, but the PMO still does not have an official spokesperson. In his Saturday's interaction too, the Prime Minister did not take any questions. But the Prime Minister's efforts to freely mingle with journalists after his address was appreciated by many of those present. His remarks that he wants to deepen and broaden his relationship with the media is being seen as a definite shift from his past demeanour. The question India Post Live is asking, is the Prime Minister attempting to woo the media through his distinctive style of political communication, or is he deliberately trying to reverse the adversarial relationship he once shared with the press?
I'm joined online by Shehzad Poonawala. And Shehzad, hi, welcome to India Post Live.
Thank you very much.
Shehzad, it's just you and me on the show for the time being. Vineet of BJP's IT cell was supposed to join, but he had a last-minute meeting that he had to rush to. So I will be playing a bit of devil's advocate. Don't fight too much with me.
With pleasure. But I'm not surprised, curiously, that Vineet chose to escape from the media.
Really? Why? Why do you think he chose to escape from the media? But Narendra Modi himself has reached out to them? Opening comments, Shehzad.
Because what Narendra Modi does enjoy is a monologue. Even his attempts to meet the media are scripted as monologues. When it comes to a dialogue, just like Vineet, Modi also does a disappearing act.
All right. Now, since Vineet isn't here, let's not bash him up too much. But, you know, the fact that 5 months after coming to power, he finally chose to meet the press. Because remember, he got a lot of flack when he did not meet local journalists in Jammu and Kashmir as well. So he finally chose to meet them. Yes, he did not take questions. That is, in fact, a question that is, in fact, a talking point. He did not take any questions. But do you think in his own way, this is his way of reaching out to the press with whom he's not had a very good relationship?
See, if you go back to where Mr. Narendra Modi comes from and you go back to his years as Chief Minister of Gujarat right from 2001, you will see that if you compare it relatively, whether it's 2001 and 2002 when the riots took place, he did some interviews, you know, the Karan Thapar interview that he got up from. Post that, those who raised questions about Gujarat riots and questions about Sohrabuddin and other fake encounter cases like the Times of India Ahmedabad edition, they were charged with sedition. Ashish Nandi, a renowned scholar and writer, was charged with sedition by Gujarat government. Supreme Court threw that case out. So you see, the level of interaction that Mr. Modi has had with the press has always been at a very hostile nature, to put it mildly. And even today in the Gujarat Assembly, the media is actually banned. You are not the media is not allowed to cover the assembly proceedings. Even members of the opposition are banned from sometimes attending these proceedings. So from where he has come from to at least meeting journalists, even if it is just a photo op or a selfie op at the Diwali Milan, is a great stride forward for Mr. Modi, given his, what one could say, dictatorial style. But let me ask you this, and like you pointed out yourself, can Milans replace questions and legitimate questions that demand accountability and transparency of a government. Because questions were asked every second day of Mr. Manmohan Singh. Can selfies replace self-respect that a journalist must have at all times in order to be called the fourth estate of the democracy? These are questions I think that best left answered to journalists, not me.
Mingled individually with each of them, and like you said, he clicked all those selfies. So
Yes.
a lot of journalists seem to be taken in by that again. So how, I mean, what do you think? I mean, isn't this, I should not be asking you this as a journalist, but what do you have to say, your comment on the state of the media really in this
See,
scenario?
I'm nobody to be self-righteous and start commenting on how media persons want to behave. Frankly, I don't belong to that estate, and it's best that I don't give out my comments in the most blatant way. But today, with what's happening with media ownerships, with what's happening openly with journalists who are against Mr. Modi, for instance, Sir Rajdeep Sardesai, the way he was heckled in Madison Square Garden, the way he's not allowed to continue to report, and only those who cheerlead for Mr. Modi, and some journalists like Gaurav Sawant, who I don't even think can be called a journalist, the way they are being put on a pedestal, I think that it itself calls for introspection within the media. Let me not be a judge of that. But being taken in by Mr. Modi, being swayed by his rhetoric, I think if all media start behaving like that, you would end up living in a situation which would not be very different from the Hitler's years of 1930s, because the German media was pretty taken away by Hitler himself. So I would best say that the job of the media is to ask questions, ask hard and difficult questions, which they did of Mr. Manmohan Singh, and ensure transparency and accountability. That's why they are the fourth estate of democracy.